So to build our application, we would need some software and an environment where we can actually begin development. Basically, for this course and the courses which we will see in the future, we would need Docker for containerizing an application and running it on the cloud. We would also need VS Code. That's the choice of IDE. I prefer for application development. For the next course and the courses after that, we would be building APIs. And to test our API, you would need Postman. However, for this course, we won't need it, but there is no harm in installing this particular software. Next, we would also need Anaconda, which we will use to create a virtual environment for us. To cut time on the video, I've already installed these softwares on my system. Now, without further ado, I'll just go back to the browser window to show you how exactly did I do that. And you can also refer to the PDF file mentioned in the requirement in this for this specific video to basically refer to each instruction and install these on your system yourself. So basically, for Docker, I went to docker.com, and since I have a Mac M1, I chose like Mac download from Mac Intel chip and install this on my system. Next, I went to docker.com. I registered myself, and desktop version of the application, Docker Desktop, is running on my system. For Postman, I went to postman.com/downloads and install the respective software on my system. That would be Mac Apple chip. If you're Windows, you can have to choose that. For VS Code, I went to code.visualstudio.com/downloads and again chose like Mac and Apple Silicon. For Anaconda, I went to anaconda.com/downloads and basically chose this to install Anaconda on my system. Lastly, we would also need to install, we would need access to AWS. So we would have to go to free tier for AWS. Just Google that and create an account for yourself. Add your credit card information and it should look something like this. I'll teach you how to use this platform to basically deploy your LLM apps at scale, not just for this course, but for the other courses as well. We'll also learn about how to add load balancers, but more on that later. Next, we would also need to install AWS CLI, but that is something which I wanted to discuss in a separate video. So without further ado, let me go back to my Anaconda software, which I've already installed. We just go here, we click on environments, we run up a terminal, fire up a terminal basically, and we basically can see that we have just one environment. So to first build the application, we need a separate virtual environment which has the respective like dependencies which our application would be using. So the way we can do that is, let me just clear this up first, is conda create -n and the name of the environment. So let's call this LLM applications, LLM applications, and then press enter. It says to press yes because we approve its creation. Then this environment has been created, but it has not been activated yet. So we see the list of environments which we have, which is conda env list, and we see that this particular environment is now created. You can also see this in the background. So to activate this, we do conda activate LLM applications, and okay, so this environment has been created. We are still in the home directory. So now to build your application for this course, basically create a folder inside documents and place all the code there. I've already done that. So let me just go to documents, and what I mean by that is basically go to documents. My code is under Udemy course under AWS ECS LLM, and these are the respective code files. Don't worry about like how exactly we have these files. I'll be teaching you how to create them from scratch. But the only thing which you need to look at for now is the requirements.txt file. So this file has these respective packages: LangChain for building our software and interacting with the LLM. Tick token is a tokenizer which we will be using. I'll talk more about that when we come to that part of the project. Next, we will be using OpenAI, actually GPT 3.5 model. And for that, we need to install this respective package. We would be building a simple front end, like where user can actually drop any text and the respective summary gets generated. And for the last two packages, these would be used inside the Docker container when the application is actually running on AWS. And also when we fetch OpenAI's API key directly from AWS. So these two packages would be installed. That is the purpose of these packages. So let me just close this. We don't want to make any changes to this particular because we are ultimately going to install from this specific file. So with this, we are under documents, and what we want to go to cd into our Udemy course, ls, and then AWS. Okay, and then clear everything out. So now we have requirements.txt. Then we need to install all the respective packages, install this requirements.txt. We also have made sure that we are in the right environment. So what we can do is pip3 install -r requirements.txt. Let me expand the window, make sure we spell everything right, or just press tab and it should start installing everything. These applications were already installed on my system, so the respective packages, so it didn't take time. But if it is taking time for you, that's totally normal. So okay, so now let's press clear. Now since I believe like you may have already installed VS Code on your system, if not, please go ahead and do that. After you have installed VS Code, let's just open VS Code, and let me just open a new window and show you like how exactly we can select the correct environment inside VS Code for our application development. So the first thing which we would do is click open folder. We go to documents, we go to the folder which you may have created. Now just create this folder, AWS ECS LLM. This folder will be empty for you. Just create a requirements.txt file. Like you can download it from this lecture's attachments and just place it there. The app.py and the Docker file, I'll walk you through how to create those from scratch, line by line. So don't worry too much about it, and just press open. So with that, you will have a requirements.txt file inside it. We notice that it just pops up something. We notice that you're in corner environment. No, we're not experiencing any issues. So next thing is basically we go to terminal, new terminal. So we have a base environment, but the application which we want to develop should be in LLM applications. So what we can do is just press Shift, Command, and P. Also, a point before that, when you first install VS Code, you may not have Python directly installed. So there will be a pop-up which comes up like, we want to install Python, just go ahead and do that. So after you install Python, just press Shift, Command, and P on your system if you're on Mac. For Windows, you have to look that up on the internet and just press select interpreter. And from this, you can basically choose Python LLM applications. Just after we choose that particular environment, you can see that installing Python into environment, that particular environment has been created. We just press on plus, and as you can see, the LLM applications has been activated. So with that, we again press clear. And from the next video onwards, I'll teach you how you can basically fetch the respective, write these each and every line of the code, understand its meaning, and build your own application. Not just this one, but any application, speech to text, translation, or like machine translation, or any other application using the same template. So see you in the next video.